Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for tuning in. As always, thanks ever so much for your ongoing support, likes, comments, subscribes, shares, discussions, hints, tips, tricks, all massively appreciated. I hope you're enjoying the wonderful semi-tropical weather for the UK at present. Anyway, right, today we'll get in and have a look at the dirt in a minute. This is going to be a really good one because normally, you know, I appreciate I'm pointing at the Fiesta, the Fabia, the Forester. A lot of times it's just a weekly maintenance wash, get rid of environmental fallout, cobwebs, bird poo, pollen, dust, that kind of stuff. But today we have got, I haven't done the S-Cross for about 2 months, maybe more. So a good level of dirt on her. So we're going to do two things different today. And that is we're going to do layering citrus pre-wash. So we're going to get the citrus pre-wash on the car, and I've gone 30-1. So we're going to do citrus pre-wash, and as that begins to dry, I'm then going to blanket the car with touchless, and I've put just 50 ml of new touchless in 1,000 ml of liquid. So we'll use half, let it start rolling down. As that starts to go, which is going to be rapid, we'll then reapply a second layer. And when you start looking at the dirt, you'll understand why. Lots of baked on bird poo, plenty of dust. And also to dry today, brand new to me, to the channel, we've got Infinity Wax Incinerate. So I was kindly sent or provided a small sample from a very, very good friend of the channel. Thank you very, very much. You know who you are. So I have put 10-1 in the foamer. So we've got 250 ml of liquid and, sorry, let me just double check that. No, we have 500 ml of liquid and 50 ml of Incinerate, and then 5% Halfords Advanced Snow Foam, just to make it a little bit more lively. So that is going to be test number 3 for the Incinerate. We're going to do a little bit of neat Incinerate, and whatever's remaining, I'm going to mix up 10-1. So we'll do neat Incinerate on one wheel versus built amber. We'll do 10-1 Incinerate on another wheel versus built amber. And then we'll do the 10-1 with the addition of Halfords foam on another wheel versus built amber auto wheel. We'll 50-50 all the wheels, like so. Built amber on the left every time and Incinerate on the right every time, and we'll look at how they perform against one another. So on the first 3, we'll put the product on, let it dwell, and then simply we'll watch how it progresses and performs, obviously, and then we'll just simply hit it with a pressure washer. And so we'll do that on the first 3 just to have a straight up sort of test of strength, and then on the last wheel, while the product's still on, I'll agitate and pressure wash. And I think standard thing, when we get to the last one, if there's any left, I'll just use whatever's left in the bottle of 10-1 and whatever's left in the bottle for in the IK foamer for the spray method, and then I'll give it a little agitate on its own, no built amber, and we'll just see how that gets on. Anyway, let's commence on a cooler side first, I think. And once the wheels are done, I'm going to do something I don't normally do, but I'm going to, from a distance, pressure wash the car all over and then give it time to dry, just to draw a little bit of heat out of the panels, because the car is almost, yep, too hot to hold your hand onto for long. So we've got encrusted bird poo, plenty of dirt. The sides are totally and utterly cessed. The wheels have got more than adequate dirt to provide a good solid test for Incinerate versus built hamber, so that'll be good. Just so we can see the dirt. Hopefully you can see that all right. Quite often actually I say, oh, I hope the camera can pick it up. I can't really see it really well in the viewfinder, but when I'm QAing and uploading the images, you can indeed see absolutely fine. Anyway, that's where we're at. A good level of crust all over. Yippee! That's what I say. Yippee! Right, I'll get the camera set up somewhere cool, and we'll start on this side, and then we'll work our way around, test those. Then I'll just cool the car down a little bit off cam, let it all dry again, and then we'll get into the citrus pre-wash and touchless, see how that gets on. And for shampoo purposes, I forgot to mention, for shampoo purposes, we're doing built hamber auto wash, again delivered using the MJJC, and to finish we've got Halfords advanced ceramic foam sealant. And also to note, this vehicle was coated with Infinity Wax Synergy Light ceramic last November, so we're running in the sort of, I can't do maths and talk to the camera, but we're running in, let's think, October, November, December, January, February, March, April, May, June. We're running around about the 9-month marker. Now, from previous videos, if you watch them regularly, the lowers were pretty much dead and they were due a recoat, and I will do that this year, and we'll do further longevity stroke durability tests. However, the car, it's still performing well, uppers, quarters, wings, bonnet, etc, etc. However, the car has had the whole Sigma V3 as a drying as a booster, and since then it has been wonderful. But like I say, car hasn't been washed for a couple of months, so we shall see how things progress. Right, we'll get straight into the wheels, back in a mo. Right, so got to go easy with quantities, because as I say, I only have a limited amount of sample to utilize. So little shake. It's got markers, so I know how much I can use. Let's get that on a mist. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There we go. That's that. Apologies if my hand's in the way. Here we go. Right, we'll let that have a sit. We'll let it have a think. And then we'll start getting that pressure washed off. As always, the built hamber showboating a little bit with the colour change. So maybe the Infinity Wax product doesn't contain the colour change chemical. You know, I'm just keeping a close eye on that because I don't want to let it get dry. And you can see how quickly it's going to dry. And then we'll get straight into hitting that. It might be a good time to start having a little blast. Let me just get the camera down. There's time for that bit. Right. As always, trying to be as fair as possible. It's not too sad, is it? Not too sad at all. little bits. This is like Garage Therapy tyre serum, where I've gone over the rims and been too lazy to remove it, but that's not too sad at all. Right, so as I was saying about the bottle, it has markers on the side, so I know, provided I didn't go past this marker that says 10:1, then I've got the capability just to fill the bottle up and we're pretty much good to go. So I think I'm going to use a few more squirts just to get down to that marker, 10:1. Then I will fill the bottle right to the top and we'll get cracking on another wheel. Right, see you in a moment. Right, two things just to note very quickly. So after I'd filmed that last section, and as I said, I would diminish the neat spray down to the mixture level where I knew it was going to be 10:1. Anyway, I sprayed it neat all over tyres and wheel face, and then in the time it took me to go indoors, grab a glass of water to fill the container up, because you can't, with a chemical like that, I didn't want to be squirting in with the nozzle because I'd get covered in it. Anyway, when I come back, hit this with a pressure washer. Oh, it's wonderful. You get a nice, satisfying foaming action. So I think that's what we'll look at on the last wheel. And the second thing I meant to note is, if you're dealing with a product like Incinerate, a strong alkali solution, gloves essential. I didn't get any on me during the first clip, and I remembered that I must go and grab gloves. So 10:1 Infinity Wax Incinerate. We can have a little bit more product this time. We'll just go total coverage. You could immediately see it pulling brown off the rubber. Apparently, also very good for cleaning tyres. And as I say, does have a foaming action. So we'll look at that on the last one. I reckon, let me just, there's a little bit of dry that I missed here. So again, decent amount of time to dwell. 50-50 on the products. Apologies about the dogs. And let's go Infinity Wax first. You can see the brown coming off the tyres. Quite interesting, really. So, once again, it's done a good job. And then we'll hit the whole thing. Make sure all remnants of chemicals are gone. And once again, wonderful. Righty-tighty. Neat built hamper. Full coverage. Make sure it's getting in. Everywhere's got some moisture. And let's just put that there. Hope my hand's not too much in the way. And we'll get straight into that. But you can see, you wouldn't go through a lot of that. And you can see the brown in the tyre. Lovely. Lovely. Oh, let's have a look at the, see what I mean? Look at that. So it's just doing a good job on the tyres. Nice product like that with like dual capabilities, should we say. Sorry, I forgot to 50-50. But I think you get the gist of them being very, very close in terms of power. Right, hopefully you can see on the camera we've got next to no residual dirt, apart from a bit I can see in here for built amber. But we've got two more chunky elements of dirt for the Infinity Wax side. So what we can do is do a localized squirt on there and give it the time it takes just to slide down that section. And then I will leave this chunky bit of dirt and we'll hit that with built amber and see what built amber has to say about that. So look, that's almost all but foam gone. So we'll just hit this directly. No change. So we'll get the trusty built amber and we'll hit this section 1, 2, 3 and just let that run. See, that's probably overrun of tyre serum. So sort of sticky, pretty hard to remove, but I am seeing some reaction. So maybe it is brake. Yeah, we're getting some decent reaction on that. So I'm going to let that sit till it's almost dry. Oh, poor DJI. I can feel it in my hand, blazing hot. Right, let's hit that. Well, that's interesting, because I'm going to say that and that were probably similar types of dirt, and a prolonged dwell with the Infinity Wax on there did next to nothing. A prolonged dwell with built amber on here pretty much took it away. Right, I'm going to pause cam, then we'll get in for the last one. I was just thinking, so I don't make a repeat of what I did on the last one, where on the first one I did, the first tyre, driver's side front, when I went in, I did some additional cleaning and thought, oh, I wish I'd filmed that. So anyway, let's just go all over with built amber, just to see you can already see reaction here, reaction here, reaction here, here, here. Not so much on the side it's already done, because the power of built amber already eradicated the majority of the fallout from that side. This side still got some remaining. So we'll let that have a small sit, and I suspect now this will be ever so slightly better than when we'd hit it with Incinerate. It just is that good. So, yes, it has taken a little bit more off. Right, let's get to the last one. Then I'm going to do the cooling the car, cool myself for a short period of time. And then we'll be back to the foaming citrus foam and also observing the coatings part. Right, so this is just 10:1. So we're going to give this a jolly good smash. Look at the brown dripping down from the tyres. Nice. Now I do know you can put this in like a foaming container. But for me, I'm just doing it in, excuse me, blew in my face. The foaming aspect is being dealt with and tested with the IK foamer. Right, we'll let that have a little sit. And then we'll hit that side with a pressure washer, and then we'll do the foaming side. Hopefully, this will have a little bit of liveliness. Yeah, a little bit. Not bad. Not bad at all. So, let's do the foam side. Same dilution ratio, 10:1 Incinerate, ooh, good word. Incinerate and 5% halfords snow foam. Nice level of liveliness. Quite good actually, because you could just get straight in with that and start scrubbing. And I'm going to use up whatever's left in there and in there, just to give them all one last coat, and then rinse them all down. You don't have to watch that part, you'll be pleased to hear. And as I say, I'll cool the car down and myself, and then we'll start getting into foaming. Look at that, plenty of brown coming off the tyres, can't fault that. So here's my unscientific view. As a standalone product, not testing that against built amber, if you were doing a contactless, very quick wheel clean, and it encapsulates a bit of tyre cleaning, that's an absolute winner. You wouldn't complain about that at all. I'd happily walk away from that, go and wash the rest of the car. When you're tackling the front, and 50-50 in it against built amber, it is apparent that built amber takes no prisoners, and it does do a little bit of additional work and is probably slightly better at cleaning the wheel. We also have to appreciate that it was diluted 10:1. So when I did the other wheel, I suppose the first one, driver side front, they were pretty much the same. So there you have it, same, you know, neat, both products neat, probably around about the same performance. And other thing to note is, I would say, because you can immediately see, I can't analyse the dirt coming off the tyres, but when you see the brown coming off with the Infinity Wax, maybe that's because there's a foam, you can see the dirt. But it does feel like that part is doing a slightly better job. But that's very, very hard to measure because I don't have equipment that can measure the level of residual dirt on the tyre. So it's hard to say. But you can see where we've, you know, but they've had 50-50, but both products, tyres look quite clean. Anyway, I'm going to pause the cam, get that product used up, and give them a blast, and then I'm going to blast the entire car, give that time to dry, and then we'll get out and start foaming it. Citrus pre-wash, foam, double layer of foam, have a look at the coatings, and we'll have a look at how the coatings are doing, how the products perform, and then we'll give her a wash. I'm going to put the camera in the shade. Right, so that has just been rinsed and left to dry in the blazing sun. So we're just going to get it liberally coated with citrus pre-wash and then start loading that up with very, very weak new touchless. So we'll do this side on cam, then I'll pop the camera on a tripod, pause for a moment, get round and do the other side, and then we'll pan out and start getting some foam on. We still had plenty of flooding when I was rinsing, so that's a good sign, a good opportunity to see if the products do indeed revive the coating. Anyway, as I say, I'm going to get the camera on the tripod and go around and get the other side done, and then we'll get out for a wide shot and we'll get that foamed all round and then let it just sit for a bit and then we'll foam again. So on a day like today, this kind of weather, this kind of heat, we're just going round nice and quickly, keeping the panels and panels cool and preventing the products drying. So that's quite amazing, really. 50 ml of new touchless in 1,000 ml of liquid. So I'll get a blanket of that on, and then I'll get the cam down and we'll go round together for the second pass. So that's roughly half the product gone. Good consistency, and here we go. Right, so the consistency is good. Very, very pleased and surprised, actually. So let's go in for our second coat. Keep that all moving on the panels. Gonna grab some hose. Good test for the Flexzilla. As you can see, still providing me a sterling service. Just coming up to the last bit. So I'll make sure we've got that everywhere. We're down to that much. And that's that gone. Mandatory test squirt. And yeah, sitting all right. Sitting all right. That is a good, solid consistency. And you can see the patterns of dirt accumulating on the floor as it pulls down the panels. Wonderful. Just what we like. Right, this side is ever so slightly thinner, so let's just start here. and the telltale signs of residual protection are still there. Lovely. Right, let's get a lower out the way. So standard for a vehicle that's had this level of neglect. It had quite a beating on the sides. Decent level of water action at the top and dead at the bottom. But in terms of the dirt removal, given how much was on the vehicle, not bad at all. Right, let's do the bonnet on cam and then we'll go and do another side, I think. So still good water action on the bonnet. Happy with that. So this vehicle does go up and down the horse yard almost every day, if not twice a day, and a very rural commute for my partner every day. Right, one last side and we'll have a little look at the boot. Same sort of story. Flooding to the lowers, decent level of water action on the uppers. Right, let's have a quick nose at the roof. Decent. Still decent. As you can clearly see. Right, boot. Also still decent. Rear quarter's good. Right, let's get that all rinsed and then we'll get into the shampoo part. Right, we've got 30ml of auto wash in the MJJC and in 700ml of liquid, and 30ml of ONR in the rinse bucket, which, as you will have seen, is becoming one of my favourite little daily routines or regular routines. Decent consistency, that. all things considered. So let's load that up. Hope that angle's okay. And we'll just bust that round nice and quick. One bucket styley, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Top down, straight lines, not too much pressure. All good. And sorry about the hat. I've been outdoors a lot today. First thing, walking the dogs before it got really, really hot. And then my daily skip. And then subsequently a fair amount of time mixing products, carting equipment to and fro prior to doing this. And also a little bit of DIY on the garden gate to make sure our beloved Dachshunds are safe. Right, let me just check. Aha. Let's get this one done. And then I might do that thing, you know. I might zip it. We don't need to see any more rinsing. And the next thing will be Halfords Advanced Ceramic Foam. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Right, let's have a quick tickle in here. Right, we've definitely passed some straw, so we're going in for a dunk. And we'll get this section done. I'll zip it for a bit. And I'll see you in a mo for the Halfords Advanced, just to rejuvenate the coating and give us a couple of weeks of half decent protection. Right, see you in a mo. Right, 50 ml of Halfords Advanced Snow Foam in 250 ml of water. And we'll get that on nice and quick while the vehicle's still cool. And that's that all gone. Let's just try a very quick test. Let's just give it a quick push around the glass as per a kind comment that was left on the channel. So I'll just push that around the glass a little bit. To aid distribution. Didn't have as much on that part. No drama. And then we'll start blasting that off straight away. Nice and quick. I'm going to leave you there because we need to get on this nice and quick. As you can see, it is drying very quickly. Very quickly. Nice, nice. All good. Just get that mixed in and moving. All back to happy. Nice, nice. Just going to grab some hose. Nice. Right, I'm going to get that all finished up and grab myself a quick refreshment, and I'll be back to wrap that one up. Right, so this is where we finished up. Just did a little bit of Auto Bright Direct QD to just dry a couple of little drips and bits and bobs. And I'd missed some plastics as per normal, so used a little bit of the rinseless solution to clean them, and have applied Garage Therapy tyre serum to the tyres, and also Built Hamber Traceless for the glass. I couldn't leave it. I couldn't say to my missus, oh, I've cleaned your car. The insides of the glass were slaughtered. You know, I don't know how they got so bad. Anyway, a couple of things to note. The tyres, once they dried, they were naked. Looked like they'd come from a second-hand tyre dealer. Anyway, subsequently, they sucked up the Garage Therapy, and just purely because I've used that product so much, I would say, without a doubt in my mind, that the Incinerate took off a fair proportion of any existing coatings and dirt. So that is a fairly sizable plus point of the Incinerate. It's not quite going to replace Built Hamber for me for pure alloy wheel cleaning power. However, in terms of it being like a dual product, it is very, very, very interesting. I didn't mean to say very 3 times. That sounded a bit crazy, didn't it? A bit much. A bit much. It's the heat. Oh, it is so hot. It is unbelievable. Right, so that's my clean for this weekend. It was really, really enjoyable, actually. Just having something with a fair level of grizzle to play with made a nice change. Fiesta doesn't need a clean. Fabia's not getting cleaned. I am going to clean the Foz tomorrow. You can see it's covered in water spots because when I was getting the stuff out, I couldn't resist seeing what the water action was like again. It's amazing. Anyway, plan with the Foz is give it a maintenance wash and then reapply. I know mistakes were made in the application of Fuzzo Coat. So she's going to get a maintenance wash tomorrow and then I'll reapply the Fuzzo Coat in a far, far better manner. Anyway, let's get this on the tripod. Hope you enjoyed that one as always. Thank you for tuning in as always. Don't forget, if you're enjoying the content, please hit that like and subscribe button. Really helps the channel, helps the YouTube algorithm push my content more and more. If not, no drama at all. Just drop in and out as and when I review products that you're interested in. Anyway, great to see you as always. Don't lift arms. Great to see you as always. Take very, very good care of yourselves. See you again soon. Bye-bye.